Let's look at the second topic of biomolecules, which is importance of water. So first of all, as we mentioned here, water is basically the polar solvent. It is basically the polar solvent, and as we mentioned that our protoplasm contains 70 to 90% of water. So this means the water is the main constituent on earth. And if we can discuss about the percentage of water in brain, so in brain the percentage of water is 85, or sometimes this is in the range from 85 to 90. This question can be asked. After that we do have second, which is jellyfish. So the percentage of water in the jellyfish is so high, which is 99%. Then thirdly, we can say the percentage of water in seeds or bone. This question has been asked in the past papers of MDK. So seeds and bones, the percentage of water is what? The percentage of water is 20%. Right. So now here if we can discuss about in the organism approximately water is present around 70%. Okay. Let's look at the properties of water, and but before going through, as we know the formula of water, which is H2O, and the first property of water is what? The first property is water is high polarity. High polarity. So now what does this high polarity word means? So if we can look into it, so here you can see high polarity, as we know that water H2O make covalent bond, right? H2O make covalent bond, and here what is covalent bond? Covalent bond is basically the sharing of electron between two atoms is known as covalent bond. But here in the hydrogen and oxygen, this means in the water, the hydrogen and oxygen do not completely share their electron. So this is covalent bond. However, it is polar covalent bond. However, it is polar covalent bond, right? As we can say covalent bond is mostly non-polar, but here the we can say water molecule is polar covalent bond, right? So we can say this question can be asked, which has the high polarity, so which make the water as the universal solvent. So the option would be high polarity make the water as the यूनिवर्सल सॉल्वेंट. कौन हमारे पास वाटर को यूनिवर्सल सॉल्वेंट बनाता है? सो द ऑप्शन विल बी हाई polarity. Right, this question is being asked. I'm gonna show you after this lecture. Now let's discuss about second property. The second property of water is yeah, let me mention, which is high heat or high specific heat. Okay, so high specific heat. So here what does the word high specific heat means? So here high specific heat is simply the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram. एक ऐसी amount of heat चाहिए हमारे पास किसके लिए? To raise the temperature of 1 gram. By what? By 1 Celsius. एक Celsius से. This means if I can take the example, so this means 15 Celsius to 16 Celsius. This is what I increase the amount of temperature of 1 gram. मैंने 1 ग्राम टेम्परेचर बढ़ाया किसके जरिए? सेल्सियस के जरिए. 15 Celsius to 16 Celsius I have increased 1 gram. So this is known as high specific heat. Now in this high specific heat, if we can look at water, so water has, what's the high specific heat of water? So it is 4.18 joules of water, 4.18 joules of high specific heat, and it is measured in calorie. Then here the main point to be noticed here is that high specific heat is also known as temperature stabilizer. Temperature also known as temperature stabilizer, and this regulate for regulator for organisms too. Now let's discuss about third property, and which is third property is known as high heat of, sorry, not hydrogen bonding, hydrogen bonding. Okay, so if we can look at the hydrogen bonding, so what is, as we know, water is the polar molecule. So between hydrogen, so between hydrogen and oxygen, we do have what? We do have hydrogen bonding, and we know that hydrogen bonding is denoted with the, we can say, dotted line. Here it is denoted because we can easily block the hydrogen bonding, so this is why it is denoted by the dotted line. It make water as the medium, and here just because of hydrogen bonding की वजह से ही two forces are generated. One is cohesion and second is adhesion, just because of hydrogen bonding. So if we can look at cohesion first, so cohesion is what basically it simply tell us the attraction of among the water molecules, or we can say the attraction between two similar molecules or atoms. Attraction between similar molecules is known as cohesion. If we can take example, so attraction of water in the xylem with water is known as cohesion. And secondly, what is adhesion? So adhesion is what? The attraction of attraction between two dissimilar atoms. Between dissimilar atoms. Now dissimilar atoms can be the attraction of water with the wall of xylem, which is non-polar. So yeah, dissimilar what? Sorry, dissimilar molecule. So attraction of water with the xylem wall is known as adhesion. So these are the two properties which are due to the hydrogen bonding of water. Now if we can discuss about fourth, basically the property of water, so which is high heat of vaporization. High heat of vaporization. So now in the high heat of vaporization, it is basically what? The amount of heat required to convert the liquid state of water to the gaseous state. एक ऐसा amount heat का require है, amount of heat required ताकि वो convert करे किसको? Liquid state of water को किसके अंदर? Gaseous state के अंदर. Okay, now we can say, if we can look into the what is the high heat of vaporization of water की high heat of vaporization कितनी होती है? So it is, the question is being asked, so I'm denoted writing it from red marker, which is 574 calorie per gram. Okay, calorie per gram. And here one more question can be asked from this, कि high heat of vaporization is what? A high heat of vaporization is also known as basically temperature regulator. Temperature regulator. Fine. Now if we can discuss about what? If we can discuss about fifth, we can say property, which is hydrophobic exclusion. Hydrophobic exclusion. So here hydrophobic exclusion is what? Basically the contact of oil with the water. Oil का contact किसके साथ? Water के साथ. Since we perform the experiment like this is the water, and in this water basically what happened when we drop the oil into it? When we drop the oil into 8. So now these are the small water molecules. These are the small oil molecules. So not water molecules but small oil molecules. So these basically so these small oil molecules will combine together and form large molecules which will be not able to bring the hydrogen bonding between water. So this is property is known as hydrophobic exclusion. So now here the question arises is basically what hydrophobic exclusion maintain the integrity of cell membrane because in the cell membrane we do have what we do have phospholipid layer or phospholipid layer is what it play main role because it is made up of what it is made up of lipid or we can say one type of oil, so that's why it maintain the integrity of cell membrane, integrity of cell membrane. Now, another property of water is what? Another property of water is basically mm, ionization. Ionization. So now here what the term ionization simply means. So basically we know that the dissociation of water into miles कि कोई भी एक मॉलिक्यूल भले वो वाटर हो या कोई भी मॉलिक्यूल डिसोसिएशन किसी भी मॉलिक्यूल की मतलब उस मॉलिक्यूल का टूटना डिसोसिएट होना किसी भी मॉलिक्यूल का किस चीज के अंदर इन द आयंस किसके अंदर आयंस के अंदर सो दैट इज नोन एज आयोनाइजेशन ionization. And here you can see the dissociation of water molecule H2O, and here water get the partial negative charge and hydrogen is partial positive charge. So this is the dissociation of ions. And last but not least property of basically water which is what which is lower density of ice, lower density of ice. So now here you can see mm, हमारे पास क्या होता है मोस्टली आइज फ्लोट ऑन वाटर, आइज फ्लोट ऑन what float on water. Why is it so? Because ice is less than water. Ice is less dense than water. This is the reason we do have low basically density of water. So this was all about importance of water and its properties. Now let's look at the questions, some of the questions from this topic. Now here are the some of the MCQs. Importance of water. So as it is mentioned, water is very good solvent for the substance due to what nature and it act as dash in the high heat of capacity. So we know in the high heat of capacity water act as what? Water act as we can say thermostabilizer, right? Thermostabilizer will be the second option, and third is first is dipole nature. Water is a good solvent because it has what it is dipole nature. So A is the correct option. Question number 6 is what due to the high heat of vaporization and hydrogen bonding water act as what? हाई हीट ऑफ वेपराइजेशन के अंदर वाटर कैसे एक्ट करता है वाटर एक्ट एज थर्मोस्टेबलाइजर. Seventh question, the water molecules remain attached together and do not separate because of what? Because of hydrogen bonding. Question number 8, which property of water play an important role in regulation of heat produced by oxidation? So it is high heat of vaporization has been regulation of heat. Question number 9, if water is high latent heat of vaporization, how this property could be helpful to plants? So option D, it will release the small amount of vapor, a great amount of heat loss. Question number 10, which property of water have to maintain the integrity of lipid membrane? And as I told you, the hydrophobic exclusion maintain the integrity. Now question number 11. Yes, water act as universal solvent because, as I mentioned up as that water act as universal solvent because it has high polarity. Then water act as temperature stabilizer for many organisms because it is basically what temperature stabilizer because it has high specific heat capacity. Question number 13. Ice float on water due to which property? Due to low density. So these were for all for today. So how that's clear. Till that, bye bye.